friends, welcome or welcome back to Tarot AF. So today we've got another pick a card reading for you all on how they currently feel about you. So firstly, we're going to get their current perception of you. We're then going to get how they currently feel about you based off of the energies at this moment in time. We're then also going to get some songs and some channeled messages for you guys. So if you've never been to a pick a card reading before, hello, welcome. So we've got 4 piles in front of us today for you guys to pick from. We've got the Orbita Tarot and the Angelite crystal in pile 1. We've got the True North Tarot and also the Bumblebee Jasper for pile 2. We have got the Monday Mystics Tarot with the Moss Agate Moon for pile 3. And for pile 4, we've got the Light Seers Tarot with the Flower Agate Cube. So you can take a moment, you can pause the video, see which one is drawing your eye, trust that message is for you. And what I do is I post the times in the box below and you can meet me there for your reading. I will see you then. Bye! My lovely friends of pile 1, so if you picked the Orbita Tarot and the Angelite Sphere, then this reading is going to be for you. I'm going to put your tarot to the side at the moment, we'll shuffle those on camera, but firstly we're going to look at how they currently perceive you. And obviously you may not resonate with necessarily what they think of you and what they perceive you as at this current moment, but this is the energy. So we have Starfish, we have Goddess, the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force and sensuality. And you don't have to identify it as feminine. The gender does not apply here. It's just that kind of yin energy more, and Goddess as in, you know, fruitful and, you know, the epitome of kind of power, I suppose, and kind of that deity wisdom like that. I'm hearing she's so high, and like Tao Buchanan. So it's that energy, that kind of captivating energy, almost ethereal. And we've also got Journey here as well in terms of energies. So firstly with Starfish, so we've got water here, water energy, so you may have water placements, which is Pisces, Cancer or Scorpio. You don't necessarily have to have those placements, but the Starfish is someone alluring, someone captivating, mesmerizing, beautiful inside and out. It's not all about looks, it's also the personality which shines through, and that image of the star radiating light. Obviously it feels guiding as well, and along with the Goddess as well, that kind of a full-on life force and sensuality as well. So I think there's that that almost coveting of your energy, as in just wanting to be around it. It's like the sun radiating light and there's a need to be a part of it. And with Journey, I feel like for some people maybe there's been time away from this person and now it's almost like a return, so a return from the journey. Or maybe for some people it's like you've gone through your own personal journey, so maybe you've been through a kind of a glow up or just this real self-care, where you are kind of doing the things that you want to do and throwing away everything else. Like you've packed your bags from situations almost that you can't control or people that you're not sure you want to be a part of and all of that stuff. And it's that kind of real like journey of self is what I'm hearing for a lot of people. But maybe for some people it's distance, maybe there's distance within this relationship, or maybe there's movement in terms of change of location for you, back or forth. But ultimately with this Starfish, it is just a beautiful personality, and I think power. Whenever I see the Starfish card, I think of doing that power pose like before interviews and stuff like that, like full on arms out to the sides, like I am, is what screams to me there. And I think there is just kind of innate wisdom in who you are, and you are a force to be reckoned with, is what this person believes. And maybe there's that kind of overwhelming when they see you in terms of like, wow, that energy space, but there's so much underneath the surface. So it's like kind of what you present almost is all of this power and everything, but I think they see vulnerability there as well, and how far you've come on your journey. So that's currently how they perceive you. And so now let's get how they feel about you as well. So we'll shuffle we'll shuffle your camera. No, we'll shuffle your tarot on camera. And I've got your oracle cards waiting as well. I adore this Ad Orbita deck. It's got such a pretty thing on the box. One sec, let me get it. What does it say? It says, a tarot deck from the soul to the stars, which I absolutely love. And inside it says, seasons of gravity bestowed by the air, where sound and light gather in time to be here. I just think that's so cute. Sorry. You guys are like, I just want to know how they feel. Come on, move this along. Sorry. I'm like a magpie with tarot decks. Okay, so let's see for pile one how their person currently feels about them. So we've got the Lovers, we have the World, we have the Five of Cups. So Spirit, how do they currently feel about their person? We have the Eight of Pentacles. Ooh, okay. I wasn't expecting that many, but I'll take you guys. Okay, Seven of Swords, and we've also got the Eight of Wands too. Great. And then in terms of your oracle cards, we have got Peace, we have got Volcano, we have got Noble, we have got Door to Personal Healing and Happiness, and Spirit there as well. So firstly, what I'm seeing is, I feel like in the past, there may have been some kind of rupture or disruption, and maybe this is where that journey has been. We've got the World card, which can be about kind of spiritual journeys and following that. But with the Five of Cups and the Seven of Swords as well, I wouldn't be surprised if for some people there may have been this eruption and kind of this major disruption in some way within this relationship. I mean, the Seven of Swords, there may have been deceit or lies or manipulation on one side, or maybe someone not fully allowing the energy to come or pushing their own agenda in some way, which might have landed in a bit of loss of displeasure at one point. And it feels like there was grief for this person and that loss of pleasure. Maybe there was anger, bargaining, denial, and maybe it was them that did that in terms of the manipulation or the lies, or a plan gone awry in some ways. And maybe there's that kind of resentment of self, having allowed this to happen, and maybe they feel like they were the volcano that erupted and disrupted this relationship. Or maybe if it was the other way around, maybe if your plans, you had your own plans and maybe didn't disclose them all, or maybe you had a plan and that didn't involve them necessarily, and it was kind of left for some time and not really touched upon this relationship. I feel like that maybe left a period of separation or no contact for some people in that journey card, maybe. Or maybe it feels like this relationship, there is constantly kind of those journeys away. Like, it never really hits at the right time. Like, there's always something that kind of disrupts in this volcano. And maybe there's rarely moments of peace, or maybe it now feels like this is peace after the storm. Maybe after rockiness, this is the time. And with this no bull as well, I think how they currently feel about you is that they can't really bullshit around anymore with their feelings. Like, I think it's pretty clear that their feelings have come on in such a massive way, and I feel like Spirit, their internal their intuition and everything is kind of telling them, like, this is it. This is your door to personal healing and happiness. This is your peace, okay? You've got to confront this anymore. There's no kind of disruption maybe to take you away from this person. There's nothing bubbling under the surface. Like, you've got to be straight with yourself now and actually look at this and look at this reflection in front of you, because I feel like they see a lot of themselves in you. With this Lovers card, it's linked to Gemini, which is the twins, but it's also that kind of, well, it's like kind of two people entwined around each other. So, you know, it could be unity and wholeness, and that's how they feel around you, like they're already whole, like it's two wholes coming together, and like the cherry on top of each other's cake, as it were. But there's just this kind of choice that makes them glad. There's this happiness, there's this healing and reassurance through your energy. And maybe these feelings came on so quickly, and maybe together everything has just catapulted forward, and maybe it's been a really kind of heated relationship, which is just it's kind of like hands off the wheel. You've just got to trust where it goes, and it's like swift, and maybe it happens so quickly, their feelings, in a lot of ways, maybe when they allow themselves to take their hands off the wheel. But the Lovers card is also beautiful because it's got the platonic kind of theory behind it of, you know, Zeus was jealous of humans who were four-armed, four-legged creatures who roamed the earth, and then he struck them apart, and they now, doesn't matter, regardless of gender, have to roam the earth trying to find their other half, as it were. And obviously we know in relationships, like, we have to be whole and we come together, and it's you're an independent person, and that person adds like that extra cherry. But I feel like this person sees this kind of end goal and feels this wholeness and completion with you. And it's like everything in terms of their unconscious, their superconscious, their conscious world has peace and almost victory in that. There is so much healing here, and I feel like they know that they have to put in that hard work, maybe if there is distance within this relationship, for some people, maybe they know that they've got to be persistent, they've got to dedicate time to it, they've got to put the hours in, whether that's to travel back and forth and vice versa, or maybe it's just they need to invest time to make almost the rupture of the past, in whichever way that might have been, to almost make amends in some way and almost prove that this time round they are dedicated, maybe, for some people. Obviously that may resonate with your situation differently, but I think they see the hours and the time that they want to put in, and it's from that place of I think because they see how far you've come as well, and I think they also want to be at a point where they feel like they bring that wholeness to you, and that they can be that support, and they see how far you've come and how much you're in your power. But ultimately I think they are guided by their intuition. Like, spirit feels like they are guiding this relationship very heavily, and it's that kind of, maybe they keep seeing signs, maybe even if they're not asking for signs, maybe they keep seeing like your name, or keep seeing like places where you guys used to go and things like that, and it's like they're always being confronted, and it's in front of their path. They can't ignore it, they can't skirt around it, they've got to confront the energy that is in front of them to find probably their own inner peace, to maybe if it's still bubbling under the surface and maybe they haven't said anything in this way, maybe they feel like it's all boiling and they know that it's almost going to explode out of them, and they don't really have a choice, in terms of their feelings are so clear that they know that it's almost imploding out of them. And maybe there's frustration because if there is distance or something, maybe they haven't been able to tell you, in that way, but there is definitely this want to make a choice based on love and via love, and to find that healing and equilibrium, harmony, which I think they see within you. And I'm definitely hearing signs, and like it feels like spirit's almost putting roadblocks in front of them, being like, this part one. So it's like no matter which way they're turning, it's just constant kind of reminders in some ways. So let's also get you some channeled messages for this person. So I always try and shuffle it, and if you've seen my videos before, it goes awry. So today I'm just going to split it a couple of times and pull one and then do that again. So I have the feeling you don't feel the same. So okay. You make me feel love in a new way as well. I think this is working. I'm so thankful we met. I love the way I feel when I'm with you, which is maybe why when you guys are apart, it's so difficult in some ways. And also, I'm sorry for what I said. So which could have been that Seven of Swords, that kind of, it may not have even been lies or manipulation in some way. It may have just been thoughts and words that stole your thought energy. But I think there is this like renewal and this peace, especially maybe if they acted out of their fear, which is most of the time for us when, you know, we say things or we're too quick to serve ourselves, or we steal other people's thought energy. Most of the time it's because our fears and anxieties have been projected onto that person. So maybe they were thinking more with their head, like, not that's thinking with their head, that is the thing. Maybe they were letting their head rule them and like run their mouth as opposed to their feelings, because the other cards are feel. And obviously we're asking how they feel about you. And I think there's a hope that you feel that way, and that you feel the love that they feel, and that you want that kind of end goal with them too. But ultimately, I think it's just, no matter what, there's this thankfulness that you've even opened a door for them, maybe, into what love should be, or how they should feel when they meet someone, and how they should act. And maybe because I feel like there's been a lot of learning on their part, and maybe guided by spirit, maybe this is a connection which challenges and has a lot of learning on both sides. Maybe for you in your kind of self-love, self-worth journey of empowerment and knowing who you are and that you are whole and you almost don't need anyone. You can journey for the things that you want. And I think for this person, realizing maybe how they treated people in the past, or that they can't bury maybe their emotions and that they're going to keep cropping up for them, is how I feel about this energy. So I want to get some songs as well for how they currently feel about you. So we have Hello, Goodbye, the Beatles. So you say goodbye and I say hello. So maybe they feel like you've moved on in so many ways, and they're almost like, hello, I've awoken. So maybe, you know, if in this relationship you were ready for something and you said that, maybe for some people, and they didn't, maybe they ran away, or maybe you just journeyed off elsewhere, because they didn't confront what was in front of them. Maybe there's this kind of like popping up in some ways. Let's Dance, David Bowie. We've also got I Want to Hold Your Hand, the Beatles. So Beatles is popping up a lot. And we've also got Islands in the Stream. That is what we are. So there we go. Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers too. So there may be lyrics that jump out for you. It may be the artist names. We've got David. We've obviously got George, Ringo, John, and Paul in the Beatles, and we've got Dolly and Kenny. So maybe those names are significant, or maybe it's just for me, it feels like the lyrics are really screaming out, and obviously the titles as well of the songs, but they may resonate in different ways. I'd love to hear if they do down in the comments as well. But my lovely friends of Pile 1, I'm going to leave this reading here for you guys today. I hope it resonated with your situation and maybe clarified a few things. If I think especially with the channeled messages, they can kind of help gauge where the current energy of that person is in a lot of ways. But yeah, I am sending so much love to you. And also I feel like, and Pile 1, that whole journey and stuff that you are going on at the moment of putting yourself first and making yourself a first priority, that for me rings true for you guys. And obviously thoughts, feelings can lie, actions can as well, but energy doesn't. And that energy was so strong in terms of you stepping into your kind of divine power in a lot of ways and connecting with your higher self. So I just want to say, and Spirit wants to say, and how proud they are of you and the journey that you are going on. And yeah, you guys are amazing. Keep going. And just remember that you're enough. You're worthy of all the gifts coming to you, all the things that you are setting your sights on. And yeah, sending so much love to you. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards today. I am sending so much love. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I really hope to see you guys there. Bye. Hello my lovely friends of Pile 2. So if you picked the True North Tarot and the Bumblebee Jasper, then this reading is going to be for you. I'm going to put your tarot to the side and we're going to look at your oracle cards for how they currently perceive you. So obviously this is their energy. So if you don't see yourself as this, or if there's some things that don't ring true, maybe that's because that's what they see about you, which you may not necessarily see about yourself. But let's get going. So firstly, we have Bat. We have visionary, capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain, and also action. So with the Bat, it's air energy, so you may have air placements, you do not have to, but that's Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. The Bat is someone who accepts, adapts and takes action and really leans into the change, into the unknown, and it's almost like thriving in that arena of following intuition, but also just not afraid to spread wings and fly when that suits them. And if something is not happening, if something has to change, if there's a death and the end of a cycle, the end of a journey, they're like, okay, cool, I'm flying out of this show, like, and into something new. So maybe there's that kind of directed action maybe away from this person that they see, or maybe you're just at the moment, maybe you've seen a vision for yourself, maybe which is completely out of your normal, like the normal cocoon of your life potentially, or what was, and now it's like, I'm willing to follow my vision, even if it doesn't necessarily lead to all the rewards that I want. I see this vision and I'm going to take active yang energy towards it in your actual physical world. It's not just an idea that you're cooking under the surface, it's something that you're willing to charge forward for. And you can see the whole picture, you can envisage it. Maybe other people don't necessarily understand it, but they know that you are just adapting to the change within you and maybe within this connection as well. But they perceive you as someone who can see that, who can see through the dark of a lot of situations. So maybe there's even this spiritual awareness as well. Maybe there's even psychic abilities for some people. But there's just undeniably this vision, this way forward and cutting through what was, and the ability to let go in order to allow new energy to pour forth and to truly make strides in the direction that you see. And maybe that's flight away from this person, maybe this flight towards something else, but obviously this is how they currently perceive you. So let's get your tarot shuffled on camera as well, and I've got your oracle cards ready for how they feel about you. And there may be different energies for different people, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't for your situation, if there's kind of bits from the past that come through as well. So let's have a look. So Spirit, how does pile two's person currently feel about them? So we have the Page of Cups. So Spirit, how... We have got the 10 of Wands as well. We have got the 8 of Coins. So how do they currently feel? We've also got the 3 of Wands as well. And we've also got the Tower too, and on the back we've got the Page of Coins, which I think is relevant to this situation as well, so I'm going to leave that off to the side too. And then in terms of oracle cards, we've got Balance, we have got Inside Looking Out, we have got Hiding, we have got Anxiety, and we've got Anxiety again. So I feel like there is this, with this inside looking out and this hiding, obviously we've just spoken about change and how you're willing to lean into the change, into the unknown. And maybe that's from this eruption within the relationship for some people, or maybe this is just in terms of where you're going. But I think this person ultimately feels anxious towards that change, maybe towards your feelings about them. Maybe it's almost like reflected back at them, and I think they feel just this overwhelming I feel like they don't feel like they're along for your ride. I feel they're anxious that you have changed so much without them there, and that they don't fit into your life in so many ways, and that almost like you have got your stuff that you are dealing with, or maybe they feel like they loaded too much onto you. Maybe they feel like they contributed to your, like with the 10 of Wands, it's burdens and oppression, so maybe they feel like you are carrying so much already, as in you are carrying your vision with where you want to go, and maybe they feel like they are like a kind of, I'm hearing leech on your back, like a like, you know, just an unnecessary burden for you to almost drag along in some ways. And obviously this may not be how you feel about them, but this is maybe their anxiety is that they are weighing you down, that they feel like they're a bit of an anchor. And I feel like with this Page of Cups and also this Page of Coins, I think maybe they feel that you are someone who is kind of maybe starting again in love, maybe with someone else, or maybe they just feel like that is where you're going, like you are meditating and reflecting, you are learning and you are building something new, and maybe you are chasing your dreams, your ambitions, that kind of vision that you see for yourself, and you're really listening to your guides and where that's leading you, and you're not afraid to kind of uproot things and change things about. This is your raw energy to direct wherever you want. And I feel like there has been, with this Tower, some major eruption, potentially in your life, or maybe potentially within this relationship, where there's been this change. Something has shaken it to the core and almost thrown everything, like the tower that was, like the tower of maybe what you built in some ways within this relationship, or maybe it's even how you are as a person, like something cut through and made you have this shift of perspective, and it's like you thrived, like you were like, okay, cool, I've got my parachute waiting, or I'm a bat, I'm just going to take flight out of this tower and go and like move away and start something new. It feels like you accepted this revelation and this change of perspective, whereas they, I feel like, are still maybe in this tower, like locked in and looking out maybe where you are flying and all of those things, and maybe they feel like they haven't had their tower moment yet, this kind of revelation. And the tower is, again, sudden shock that kind of ripples through and forces, voluntarily or involuntarily, us to, sometimes it feels like a massive psychological upheaval, but it's a revelation, whether that's from someone else or the divine or your mind, which bursts you out of your preconceptions, out of that cocoon, like I said with the bat, or out of the cave, whatever analogy. And it makes us like, you can either feel like you're a victim to it, or you can kind of rise and change and know that this is your moment to rebuild. And I think they see you as someone who has taken this change in their stride and is making movements to change, to build something new, and you're dedicated to that. Maybe this is even in terms of your security, your stability, your home life, your work, your career, and for some people, but there is this almost like overwhelming, like, I'm following my heart, I'm following what I feel, and I'm finding my balance in a lot of ways. And I feel like you knock them off balance, or maybe they wish that they could have the same amount of balance as you in so many ways. And I think their fear is really kind of overwhelming them at the moment. I think you can see love, and you can see the love of change, and like the adaptability, like how you can be versatile, how you can bring stuff. And also, I mean, we've got the shamrock, the kind of 4-leaf clover in the 3 of Wands, and how you are like waiting for your ship. Like, maybe you don't have all the pieces or ingredients together, but you are willing to work towards that, and you can see your vision on the horizon. You know your boat is coming, you know that, and you are actively waiting for something to happen. And it's like, you know it's coming for you. Whereas I just don't think they have that level of faith, and maybe they're anxious that you'll leave them behind in so many ways, because they haven't been able to adapt to the change. And I feel like they're trying to balance out, and anxiety is so much to do with, like I said, fears and thoughts, and that overwhelming lens that comes out. And I feel like they can almost see the window of opportunity to leave, but there's something stopping them, and it's that unknown, and they don't feel like they can step into that. And I feel like they see your active, like, kind of outward change to the world, and how you are driving forward and moving on, and maybe they don't feel ready to do that quite yet. And I mean, in terms of like cups energy or feelings, obviously we have the Page of Cups. So maybe you make them reflect a lot, maybe you make them meditate, maybe they see you as this dreamer and visionary that almost challenges them to do the same for themselves. But my feeling is that they are stuck almost in this tower of illusion and repression, like they repress their feelings potentially a lot, and they live very much inside of their maybe fear and anxiety for the world of this change. And they're like comfortable in their cocoon, in the cave of where they are, and they're not ready to transform yet. And maybe they're even hiding deeper feelings, or hiding how they feel from you. Maybe they're hiding anxiety for some people, like I said, because I feel like they don't want to add another layer to everything that you're already doing. And so their general feeling is that they have got to balance themselves out, and they have got to put in that work. And I feel like it's almost like let you fly. I feel like they do not want to hold you back in some ways. But I think I feel like it's a good challenge for them to see someone, and I feel like they are in awe of you and how you are able to do this. And I think they wish that they could get out of their heads and stop hiding from from who they need to be in some respects. So I want to get some channeled messages for you guys as well. If you've seen my channel before, I usually shuffle these, but they go everywhere. So I'm okay, you can come out. So I'm doing this new thing. So you're my type. So maybe the type of person that they aspire to be like in some ways is what I'm hearing. Thank you for your honesty. Maybe this is in terms of, I wish I could take it all back. I can't stop thinking about you. So for some people, maybe you were really honest about what you wanted to go and do, or what the vision you saw for yourself, and maybe they kind of let you fly in some ways, and maybe they hid their feelings, or they stayed put where they were because they weren't ready for the journey. But now I feel like they're stuck in that what if for some people as well. And we've also got, I don't want to ruin our friendship. So I think at the core of it, they still see you as a massive impact in their lives, a massive kind of person. And maybe you guys have always been friends and not more, and maybe you were like, I'm gonna go and do this, and maybe they were like, should have said something, I shouldn't have not hid my feelings, or something like that, maybe for some people. But I don't think they want to ruin what it is at the core, that, you know, that I don't think they want to ruin this connection and not have you within their lives. And I think this, I can't stop thinking about you, is that kind of what if their anxiety hadn't got the best of them? What happens if they hadn't hid? Or what happens if they'd taken that leap of faith, which I feel like you did in so many ways? And maybe, you know, you were really honest with them, like, I can't wait around, I've got to change, I've got to follow the flow and the current of what I see, and I'm building stuff for myself. And maybe it's because they didn't give you a reason not to do so. So you were like, I just need to do me. I need to do my stuff. And with this, you're my type, I feel like it is that, I mean, I'm thinking archetype, and obviously there's that visionary as well, which was this archetype card, and you know, maybe that, like, maybe it's you're my type in terms of like who I aspire to be like, or always saw myself with in some ways. But it's that kind of, and it's, for me, it's spirit saying archetype, like you're my type, this type of someone who can see ahead, and someone who like lives moment to moment but can see things that and make leaps and jumps that other people can't. And I feel like maybe they felt like that at one point, but they don't feel like that currently. So I want to get some songs as well for you guys. So we have We Don't Talk Anymore, Charlie Puth and Selena Gomez. So yeah, maybe I wish I could take it all back, maybe because they didn't say anything, or maybe they didn't communicate. Maybe it's kind of like, you don't know, so you're just doing your stuff, you're just changing. And maybe the we don't talk anymore is that you feel like a stranger to them in so many ways. We've got Accidentally in Love, and obviously I think of Shrek in that movie as well, and well, it's Counting Crows, but like in terms, Shrek, Accidentally Love is that movie as well. But also the You're My Type as well, like Shrek and Fiona, when Shrek doesn't realise Fiona is also an ogre and like changes by night. And obviously for me it's kind of that, like, I feel like they, like, it's almost like unrequited. They feel like their love is unrequited, and they almost didn't mean to maybe ruin the friendship in some ways, as in like maybe they muddied the waters in some way. Maybe you were honest with them, they didn't take that leap, and now they feel like they should have been more honest in some ways. But that might feel differently for other people. We've got All of Me, John Legend as well. So it may be lyrics that resonate with you, it may be the artist, it may be the song title. And we've got Drops of Jupiter, Train as well. So yeah, so I think there is a lot of there's a lot of strong feelings here, but I feel like there is this kind of inside looking out, like they're trapped within their feelings, and I feel like overwhelmingly it's their fear talking to them, that like I'm hearing like not worthy enough and all of those things. But I think they see the type of person that maybe they could be and what they aspire to, and how you have kind of taken control in so many ways and changed, and I think they wish that they had that adaptability or were in the place to be able to do that. But there's definitely and you know, if you're long distance from this person, maybe potentially, or maybe you are in a relationship with this person, I feel like they just don't want to hinder you in so many ways. But there is this love at the end, at the crux of it, and I think maybe the all of me is that they want to put their all in a lot of ways, and put their kind of lay their cards down and put their chips. But I think it's that fear of doing that and bearing all, and maybe it not being reciprocated. So my lovely friends of pile 2, I'm going to leave this reading here for you guys today. I'm sending so much love. I really hope it resonated with you guys, and maybe there was some insights and some clarity which maybe you weren't maybe you didn't have at the moment. Remember, I gave a lot of scenarios in that one as well, so it like take what resonates with your relationship and leave what doesn't. But like I said, I'm sending so much love to you, my lovely friends of pile 2. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. Until next time, sending so much love. Bye. Hi lovely friends of pile 3. So if you picked the Mystic Mondays tarot and also the Moss Agate Moon, then this reading is going to be for you. I'm going to put your tarot to the side and we're going to look at your oracle cards firstly for how they perceive you. So obviously you may not completely agree with how they perceive you. There may be elements which you resonate with, but obviously this is through their eyes, through their lens. So firstly we have Lizard, we have Child wounded. Light attributes are awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness, and we've also got patience as well. So with the Lizard, we could have fire signs here. So you may have fire placements, you may be Leo, Sagittarius or Aries, but you don't necessarily have to have those. But with the Lizard spirit, it's someone who is artistic, and who kind of has to have those embellishments and flourishes on life, and really creates their kind of own individual essence in a lot of ways, and brings that. But also there's this kind of spirituality and telepathy here as well with the Lizard, like that instinctual knowing, and almost being able to see through people's facades and things that have been unsaid, like just being able to pick up on that, like reading between the lines is what I'm hearing. And this really feels like it fits in with this child wounded here. So I feel like you and this person maybe share very similar wounds, like from your inner child. So a lot of maybe deep unconscious fears or anxieties, maybe you can see that and maybe it's reflected, and I think there's just this understanding, this compassion, this non-judgmental quality to you, who just kind of sees people, and you've learned from your wounds and learned from them, and found like forgiveness within yourself for that feeling. And I feel like you inspire that in others, and I think you want to help other people grow as well. So I think with this telepathy, I feel like there's almost this no bull, like people can't hide from you in a lot of ways, as in you pick up on things, and it's like they have to show you their true self, but it's all patient. You allow them to open up as willing as they are able to, but it's like maybe the questions you ask, or maybe just the energy that you draws more out of them, and there's just this patience, and it's kind of this knowing, and that's kind of reassuring for people in order to maybe speak their truth much more and more. But I think you are just a presence, and maybe you are not afraid to kind of put other people's needs ahead of yours. And sometimes that, like, sometimes that is you know, kind of frowned upon, putting people first. But healing as well, you know, you tend to, and healing personalities tend to kind of do that, and, you know, then maybe burn out and have to kind of take some time for themselves. But there is just this ultimate kind of, I'm happy, I'm here as much as you want to talk to me. And I think you're just very patient with this person in all areas as they speak their truth, and maybe patient on the things that you are waiting on building in a lot of ways, because you see the kind of the future of where you want to go, and there's kind of patience and tranquility there, and you're not afraid to wait around for things to balance themselves out. And maybe it's also within this relationship as well. So that's how they currently perceive you. So let's get your tarot out, and I've already shuffled your oracle cards as well, which will add to this reading. So this is going to be how they currently feel about you within these current energies. Great. So Spirit, how does Pile 3's person currently feel about them? Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles, we have Judgment, we have Wheel of Fortune, I'm hearing a song by Kate, Wheels, which is like, wheels keep on spinning round, and obviously we've got death as well. So I feel like change and like the cycle of life in a lot of ways is very kind of like apt. And we've also got the Six of Swords too. So if you have, so it's Cake, Wheels, it's a really kind of like, I love that song. It's kind of quite monotonous in a lot of ways, but I think it's one of the catchiest tunes. I love it. So that might feel like it kind of rings some truth for you within this connection as well. So we've got your oracle cards as well. So we've got consciousness, we have spirits to guide you, we have party leader, we have healer of the ages, and we have birth too. So how they currently feel about you, I feel like there is a definite end to one cycle, and there's definitely a change, like a shift in gear in some way. And maybe it feels like it's kind of almost involuntarily happened, maybe to this person, or maybe they are just kind of surrendering to this change in so many ways. I think they feel that you are very established. Maybe you are in this King of Pentacles energy, and maybe that's what they are building themselves. Or maybe they feel like both of you are like that. Maybe they are an earth sign, maybe they have earth placements, maybe they're a Taurus, Virgo or Capricorn, or maybe you are. Obviously we had that fire at the beginning, but like I feel like there's just like a natural instinctual energy between you both. Like the King of Pentacles is someone who is grounded, who follows ambitions in a lot of ways, and has a lot to, in terms of like the physical world, the physical sensational world, has built up their established, like, and is very giving and nurturing. So I feel like there might be aspects in both, or maybe that's what they are aspiring to be, and they feel like maybe you bring that out of them in a lot of ways, like really them feeling like they can step into their power and kind of accept themselves, and make them the party leader. Like I think there is a lot of, not that you put all of your attention on them in that way, but they, like, you help kind of build them up almost, and make them aware in this consciousness of who they are, and kind of give them that bolster. It's not like an ego boost in any way, it's not in that, but it challenges them to accept themselves and realize actually how much they have grown. And I think that's because you are that wholeness too, and you are your own party leader. Like, you do the things, you do follow your instincts, you do the things that make you happy, and that inspires them to do the same. And I feel like within this relationship there has been that change, this awareness that things are changing between you, and it feels like there is this almost higher consciousness calling, like spirit guiding, and there's almost this alarm bell, like opening a door into something new, and like birth again. So we've got death and rebirth. So from that death, from that accepting of a cycle ending, which the Wheel of Fortune is all about, those wheels spinning round and round, it's that awareness, that change of consciousness, the awareness that things are changing, and it's really how you invite in that change. And with Judgment, there is this higher calling. There is this feeling like it's almost a spiritual awareness to the path potentially, which you guys are treading and breaking out of the box, the preconceptions of what was, into something different. And it's that kind of, you both maybe, and they feel that they've already heard this call that there's a door that you guys can open, and because they're already aware of it, they're actually walking that path much more than they realized. And maybe for one, or maybe both of you, maybe there's been choppy waters in the past. Maybe you guys had been in a relationship, like been friends, and maybe like and smooth it over in some ways, or maybe there's a period of separation or no contact. I feel like there could be a lot of different variations within this, but either way, maybe this relationship had a rocky start or something like that. It feels like there is this new birth, there is kind of calmer waters ahead. There's like leaving the baggage of the past in the past, and like accepting that that is it, like that was what it was, and now you guys can journey towards something new. And with the Fool, it feels like I'm hearing Fool for love, like love Fool, but also in terms of trusting their intuition, trusting and taking that leap of faith, and not necessarily knowing, like, and it feels kind of like wild card energy, like maybe you are their wild card in some ways, and someone that kind of came to them and they weren't you know, and really changed their consciousness and their awareness in so many ways, and is that alarm bell, like the almost a wake-up call. And I think with this Wheel of Fortune, it's like they're finally stepping up and maybe playing the game of love in some ways, and playing the game of actually allowing their feelings to lead them, and maybe their natural instincts as well. And again, Wheel of Fortune is all change, and it feels like luck, and maybe after periods of misfortune potentially, but it's all about stepping up and kind of, like I said, kind of playing the game is how I feel about Wheel of Fortune, and you know, taking your chance, and you know, and that requires accepting change and allowing the change to flood in, and trusting like hope is on the horizon, that there is that it's all about how they react to it. And with the Fool, I feel like there is a fresh start, a new beginning, a new phase of life, and I feel like they feel you are a part of that, or maybe you have helped push them towards that in a lot of ways, and there is that kind of, maybe this birth, and maybe this is like a seed of a new relationship in so many ways. And with this Healer of the Ages as well, obviously we spoke about your healing abilities, and I think they feel that within you, that you kind of, like I was saying, bolster them up to realize that they are the leader of the party. No one else can dictate their happiness, it's all them, but you inspire that growth, and it's healing, treading a path that breaks out of conceptions of their fears and anxieties in so many ways, journeying towards something new. And it's kind of like healing from the past, healing from the wounds, that inner child wounds, healing of the scars that maybe they didn't confront in the past in some ways, which maybe you've almost reflected back on them, maybe how you've grown from them, or maybe advice that you've given them in some ways, and how you know, you can change your actions in the present moment, and heal, accept, learn, grow, and with that healing energy move forwards towards that tranquility, towards that new phase. And it feels like an awakening in so many ways. And I feel like Spirit is very heavily guiding this relationship, and they feel that, but they feel that overbearing awareness. I mean, we've got so many major cards here with the Fool, Death, Wheel of Fortune, and Judgment. And consciousness, I think of that full consciousness in the world, as in the World card of Tarot as well. So, you know, that kind of wholeness and completion, and like that end of a journey, as it were, like them reaching one phase of their consciousness and almost ascending a level, maybe a new level of love in a lot of ways. And I think this is very spiritually guided, with the spirits to guide you. It's like, I think there's this undeniable feeling like there was a reason that you both met. There was a reason, like the threads of fate, as it were. I mean, I like the idea, and I subscribe to the idea more of destiny, that you have like blocks in the road, like crossroads, where you have free will and all of that, and you make your decision, you make your choice. But with this spirits to guide you, it's almost like spirit and maybe their intuition has guided them through this free will to kind of align to that. And you know, there is the reason why paths have crossed, and maybe they came to this crossroad where they had to pick like the old way of where they were going, or confronting all of this stuff, which the wounds which maybe they hadn't healed from yet, which I feel like you brought out of them in so many ways. And there is this kind of magic as well, is what I'm hearing behind this connection. And maybe you are spiritual, maybe you even have these like maybe you are clairvoyant, or you know, clear seeing, or maybe you are an empath and feel other people's emotions in a lot of ways, which may be why you resonate so much with them. And that's why this connection is so strong as well, because you just see them. And I think that is maybe quite new for them, is someone who kind of completely understands and accepts them. Or maybe if you don't fully understand them, you are just willing to accept and listen to them and be patient with them, is what I'm hearing again. So let's get you some channeled messages. So if you've seen my videos in the past, I usually shuffle this, usually in two, but I'm trying something different today, which I feel like has worked quite well. So I'm just gonna do this and then pick some up. So I wish I could tell you how I feel. So maybe they've not fully let go, or like maybe they've not fully like told you all of their feelings, or just how much you've helped them open up. I can't open up yet. We've also got, I can't get you out of my head. So maybe, like I said, maybe there's that telepathy, maybe there's like a silver thread that almost connects you through wherever you're kind of going in some ways, and it's kind of like that magnetic pull back to you. Oh, hello. We have also got you are beautiful, and we've also got unconditional love. And I think that is, you know, maybe they feel that unconditional love. Like maybe you guys have a really strong friendship in a lot of ways. Maybe you've been patient with them, and in their kind of their timeline of how they can open up, or maybe if they've been chasing career, job, schooling, that kind of thing. I think there's this want to take that leap forward and everything, and trust and have faith, but maybe they've not quite got to that change. But I think they feel that they can't get that situation out of their head where they have to almost take that leap. And underlying is that kind of love, and I think that's because they're not really seeing through that lens of fear, that they're seeing through that lens of love. And maybe you've helped them see that, is seeing the healing, seeing the possibilities of life in general, I think, as well, and how you see with unconditional love, like no matter what anyone has been through, no matter what scars or wounds that they carry, that you bring that unconditional love, and I feel like you bring that out of them too. And maybe there's always this undeniable friendship between you, so no matter where you are, like that silver thread running through, I think they just feel that, and maybe they wish that they could tell you fully how you make them feel in so many ways. So let's also get you some songs as well. I love it. I love a good song me. We've got Everywhere, Fleetwood Mac. And that's that consciousness as well, that kind of world card like I was talking about, which obviously the world didn't come up, but that consciousness made me feel of that. And, you know, I want to be with you everywhere. So is one of the lyrics in the song, is what I'm hearing. So maybe there's that general just, you know, feeling of in kind of awe in so many ways. So we've also got Baby I'ma Want You, Bread, which is one of my dad's favourite songs, which I love too. We've also got You Make Loving Fun, Fleetwood Mac. So maybe maybe love has always been a bit of a trial for them in some ways, or maybe relationships have, and maybe or maybe even friendships, maybe they've never really been able to open up in some ways, and I feel like you make seeing the world with love a fun thing. And your song, Elton John, yeah, a little bit funny, this feeling inside. So yeah, so maybe, and obviously, you know, there's that line where it's like, I don't have much money, but boy if I did. So maybe the King of Pentacles, maybe they don't feel like they're quite where they want to be in terms of their like sensational world in some ways, but they're kind of, that's what they want, is to be that provider maybe, and, you know, provide you with all the things that and like security and stability within the relationship is what I'm hearing. But these are such beautiful songs, and obviously we've got Fleetwood Mac come up twice, and Fleetwood Mac is like my favourite, so you know, you guys are my favourite. Don't tell the other piles. But I am going to leave this reading here for you guys today. So maybe if you haven't heard some of these songs, or especially maybe if you haven't heard Bread, Baby I'ma Want You, it's like cheesy and brilliant, but yeah, maybe take a listen, maybe lyrics jump out at you, or maybe it's the kind of artist names that do. But my lovely friends of Pile 3, I'm going to leave this reading here for you guys today. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards. I've really enjoyed it. I've got like the biggest smile on my face at the moment. I'm sending so much love. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I really hope to see you guys there. Bye. Hello, my lovely friends of Pile 4. So if you picked the Seers Tarot and the Flower Agates square, I forgot my shapes, the square, then this reading is going to be for you. But firstly, we're going to see how they currently perceive you. So obviously this is their lens. These are their like kind of feelings, or how they currently see you. So obviously if you don't identify with that, that's obviously their lens. So, you know, don't shoot the messenger. So we have Elephant. We also have Determination, a Child Eternal, determination to remain young in body, mind and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. And we also have Door to Spirit. So firstly, with this elephant, you may have fire energy within your chart. You don't have to, but there's Leo, Sagittarius, Aries energy here. But the elephant is unstoppable, auspicious, someone who can break down barriers and obstacles. And I really think with this Child Eternal, I think about how playful elephants are as well, and how they kind of follow in each other's footsteps, hold each other's tail, and maybe hold each other's hands, and bring this kind of, that's kind of the eternal flow of who elephants are. It's like they kind of grab other people and take them under their wing and allow them to see with the wisdom that they do as well. And determination to remain young in body, mind and spirit. I feel like that is the elephant spirit, to kind of push past boundaries, and is a child at heart in so many ways. I feel like you give elephants a thing of water and all of them, no matter how old, are gonna like throw water with their trunks and that kind of thing. So I think there's this like underlying playfulness here, and this with this daughter spirit, I feel like they see you as someone who is almost really in tune with the cycles of life, and maybe even within your own spirituality, maybe that door is open for you. And that you have this connection with your higher consciousness, which allows you to, you know, in your body, mind and spirit, feel aligned and to see everything as a series of opportunities, not as obstacles, but as challenges. And with challenges, it's to create a before and an after. It's so we can have a learning period and really break down those obstacles, change, and there's an after for that, so a new door that opens, a new possibility. So I feel like there is this kind of connection to the divine, and sometimes people as well put obstacles up in front, like the elephant can put obstacles up in front of us in order to steer us on to the right track as well. So I feel like there's almost this this ability to be in tune with free will as well, and knowing that they are the leader and they can follow their intuition in so many ways, but trusting spirit that and maybe you guys look for signs in a lot of ways, or just the fresh possibilities, and there may be this kind of like Peter Pan quality is what I'm hearing as well. I'm thinking of like the kids flying, and with this butterfly here, there's this kind of freedom and this like I said, kind of taking other people under their wing to see like the possibilities, the magic in the world, and kind of fly over obstacles in so many ways. So that is how they perceive you. So let's get your tarot, let's shuffle that. And I've got your oracle cards waiting too. So this is going to be how they feel about you. So let's give these a good shuffle. Great. So Spirit, how does Powerful's person currently feel about them? So we have the Fool, we have the Knight of Swords, we have the Ten of Cups, we have the Eight of Swords, and we also have the Page of Swords, and also the World card as well. Okay, and then let's get your oracles too. So we have got Growth, we have got Green, we have got Rainbow Bridge, we have Caring Connections, and we also have Freedom too. So firstly, we've got a lot of green imagery here. So Earth is something that I'm hearing, like Earth placements maybe. So Capricorn, Virgo or Taurus, maybe you or that person has those placements. But I mean, we've also got sword energy as well. So they could be potentially air signs, or maybe you do as well. And obviously we had the fire earlier. So in terms of air, it could be Aquarius, Gemini or Libra. But don't worry if it feels like, wow, you've listed basically all the signs except water. Like, that's just what I'm seeing. So maybe it doesn't resonate with you, but that's just what I'm trying to, I'm called to say. So in terms of this relationship, I feel like maybe there'd been a period where they'd been wrapped up in their thoughts, or maybe you had in some ways, or something was tying one party up, or maybe one person was like running away, and maybe with this Knight of Swords, it's like directed thinking, like maybe chasing things which didn't really make them happy in some ways and that kind of thing. But I think there's this almost potentially even player energy within this connection. So maybe they feel like they played games in some ways, or maybe they were caught up in their way of thinking and was thinking too much with their head in some ways. But I feel like there is underneath this, there is this growth now, and maybe they recognize this growth within, and actually maybe they freed themselves of a lot of their fears and anxieties, and maybe the situation which they were wrapping themselves up in, maybe that story that they were telling themselves, they realize that they're much freer of that than they realized, and maybe they've taken that mirror to reflect and meditate upon that and realize that they want to change their way of thinking. And with this Page of Swords, I feel like they want to challenge that thinking in so many ways, cut through and find a new way, find a new path. And it feels like they're almost teetering on the edge, so I feel like you almost keep them on their toes in so many ways, is what I'm hearing. And maybe they feel like they almost have to be brave and take that leap, take that charge, and kind of almost keep up, is what I'm hearing with some of this energy. And maybe they don't have time anymore to be wrapped up in their own thoughts about this. They know that things are moving, things are growing, and there's freedom in that too. And so with the Fool, we've got this kind of trust and having faith, almost taking their hands off the wheel. So if there was that kind of fears and anxieties which tying them up, which maybe kept them back in some ways for a while, I feel like that is kind of being released from them, and they're ready to take that leap, even if they can't see that net to know that it's catching them. I feel like there's almost this this energy of, I've just got to do it, I've just got to take this chance and trust that I'm guided. And obviously we had like a lot of daughter spirit and stuff which they see in you, and with this rainbow bridge, I feel like maybe if you have a lot of trust in this relationship, maybe you're even with this person, maybe it's like kind of the starts, maybe if you have a lot of trust and faith in this relationship, you almost inspire that from them, that you know, you guys can grow, cut out things that doesn't serve you guys anymore moving forward, reframe it, see it as a perspective shift, and realize that underneath all of the thoughts and maybe the words and the actions of things that happen, the energy doesn't lie, and the love almost doesn't lie. Because there, with this caring connections and also this 10 of Cups and also the World, there is this like healing and completion and reassurance, this wholeness, this happy family, community connection, this kind of tranquil harmony after storms in so many ways. And I'm hearing sweetness and full heart too. So maybe how they currently feel is that, but maybe their thoughts and actions and words are doing other things. And the thing is with that is like actions, words, thoughts, they can all lie, energy doesn't. And I think their energy is that of, they can see that journey, they can see that wholeness and completions, that kind of consciousness, and maybe that freedom with you, and maybe the freedom of how you, it's like almost a piece of string, everything they've wrapped around themselves, it's like pulling that, and it's like, I feel like you're slowly almost bringing them out of this this thought. Maybe you're not even doing much, maybe you're just being yourself, maybe seeing past their obstacles and being like, frame it like this, and making them see the kind of joy, the shift of perspective, like we were having with that earlier, that archetype card with the child divine. And I think there is this kind of, maybe they've been too quick, maybe they've directed their thoughts in the past, maybe they've been a bit brash, maybe they've been a bit trampled over other people's energies potentially, and maybe they see you as this someone who's very quick-witted, inquisitive and bright, and someone who is not so bogged down with their thoughts, is a feeling, intuitive person. And I think this forces them to realize that they can grow, that they can almost they don't need to be so quick to make their decisions and all of those things, and really listen to what their heart is saying. And I think now they are looking to be more instinctual, and with this Fool energy, really follow their intuition. And maybe that scares them, especially if they've held a lot of baggage and they take their experiences and they let them rule them, leading them forward. But I think now it's like they realize that they need to move towards something else, and that they need to see what is kind of in front of them in so many ways. And maybe with this rainbow bridge, like which really links to the Fool for me, like taking that leap of faith. But it's like Indiana Jones is what I'm hearing, like that scene where he's I think it's it's one with Sean Connery with his dad. I think it's The Last Crusade, where before he gets to the cups, there's that kind of like bridge which he just has to trust and have faith that is there. And I think it's that thing, like maybe this person is not sure quite how they're going to get there, how they're going to grow, but they find freedom in that unknown, which maybe they haven't always felt before, because they know that like your kind of care for them, your love for them is going to shine through. So maybe if you're in this relationship with this person, they've got wrapped up with things and thoughts, and maybe that they've just been tied up with things, maybe they realize that they're much freer of that than they realize, because you're there to support them no matter what. Or if this is a very new relationship, I feel like they are unraveling those kind of fears and unconscious, which maybe they put onto this relationship in some ways. And also with the crows here, crows are obviously linked to, well, they can be linked to witchcraft, psychic abilities, all of those things. So I feel like it's almost that kind of, again, that spirituality and that elephant and that door to spirit, like your spirit almost like ripping through those thoughts sort of thing, and kind of there's that niggling feeling that like it's time to fly away from those, is what I'm thinking. And with this green, maybe they're not kind of coveting what other people have at the moment, because I kind of think green-eyed monster in some ways, but I think it's that growth, it's that that not like being content with themselves and being content with where they are, and that they are still growing, and there's freedom in that. And I think that's how they feel about you, is they feel that you are that person that can cut through that which doesn't serve you, continue to grow, continue to move through the cycles, and you care about everyone, no matter what scars they have, no matter what they've potentially even done to you in the past. You just have this ability to renew energy with love and change the focus. And I think there's freedom of thought, which maybe they don't feel like they've always had. And it's because I think you trust your intuition, you trust your inner guidance, and you can see clearly your goals. And maybe they see you as someone who's very victorious and has kind of got to that level which they are hoping to attain, and there's that learning from you. But maybe they think of you as a free spirit, someone who can easily weed out, and maybe they hope they're not a weed, that you do that too. But it's like anything which you're growing, you have to bring nurturing and love to it. And I think they see themselves as almost that, is that you are someone that is kind of nurturing them and making them their best selves in some ways. Not that you are fixing them or anything like that, but it's like that Peter Pan, inspiring them to almost do something else. And I mean, Peter Pan has problems, and I'm not saying that, you know, you probably don't feel that, you know, you have everything together, but I feel like you are confident in who you are, you have that wholeness within yourself, you know what you are striving for, and they feel that too. They feel that kind of like I was saying, that energy of what if, and always that challenging, but in a really healthy way. Like, why am I feeling like this? Where can I go? What can I do? There's that optimism about life which you bring, and I think that is infectious, and that's how they feel, that you challenge them to get out of their heads in so many ways. So I also want to get some channeled messages. So if you've seen videos from me in the past, I tend to shuffle these, but they go everywhere. So I'm trying something new today. So I can't let it go. So maybe this is this thought situation. Maybe they haven't quite been able to overcome that yet in some ways. I didn't mean to mess you around. Like I said, there might have been player energy. So maybe they even feel like you've moved on in some ways, and you've taken that leap of faith to walk away from them. Like maybe you still care about them, maybe you still like hold them as a friend in some ways, but I feel like maybe they don't maybe they don't think of themselves as deserving of that anymore. I can't open up yet, so maybe because they know that they messed you around, maybe they don't feel worthy of being able to say exactly how they feel. We've also got thank you for believing in me, and like I said, that's that optimism and seeing through almost what the other person is saying. And let's get one more as well. I don't want to share you. So maybe they feel like you've moved on, and maybe if you're not talking at the moment in some ways, or maybe if they've known that you've done wrong, not that you've done wrong, maybe they know that they've done wrong, sort of thing, and you're weeding out that which doesn't serve you. Maybe they see you as someone who is free to do what they want to do, which absolutely you are. You have free will, and they know that, I think, fully well. But they know that without opening up, I don't think they know that they can't really, they can't keep you in some ways. Like, you are your own person. You're going to go and do your own things and jump out the box that you want to do. And with that you're going into your new phase, your new journey of life. And you're not afraid to evolve, to adapt, to change. And maybe they don't want to share you with this new phase in some ways, or maybe if they feel like you might have moved on, maybe it's that. Maybe that's the envy, the green. Maybe they feel like you have moved on from this connection in some ways. Maybe you're still friends, but maybe in that. So it may resonate for different situations and different people. So take what resonates to your relationship and leave what doesn't. I also want to get you some songs as well. But I can't let it go as well, as maybe they're what they did in the past. So maybe if you kind of forgiven them and you've healed from it and you've learned from it and you're fine, maybe they still feel like they can't quite do that for themselves yet. So we've got All of Me, John Legend. So maybe that's, they feel like they want to put their all in at the moment. We've got Hurt. We've got Johnny Cash, I hurt myself today. So maybe that's, they hurt them, like they hurt you, and in that process hurt themselves, because now maybe they don't feel like they can like say anything to you. Maybe they feel like they've waived that right in some ways, especially after maybe you've believed in them. Irreplaceable, Beyonce. I feel like that's because obviously this is how they feel about you. Maybe they feel like you're not irreplaceable, or maybe they don't feel like you're irreplaceable to them, but like they're irreplaceable in your life is what I'm hearing as well. And we've got also Rhythm of Love, Plain White Tees too. So those songs it may be the artist, it may be lyrics, or it may be the song titles that kind of shout out to you in so many ways. But yeah, maybe give those songs a listen if you've not heard them before. But there is definitely this feeling here, and with that 10 of Cups energy, the World and the Fool, there's this like, and obviously the caring connections, like I feel like you are always going to be there for that person. I think they know that, but maybe they don't feel like they deserve you in a romantic way, or in that love, the unconditional love that you almost give to people. Maybe they don't feel worthy of that in some respects, maybe because of their past actions, and maybe they feel like you are growing and you are free. Or maybe if there has been separation or no contact within this connection, maybe they see you as kind of moving on and journeying towards what you want to do, and finding your freedom, and maybe they feel like they're left behind in some way. So like I said, I feel like there is a lot of different scenarios here. So I'd be really interesting to hear what resonates with you guys in the comments. So please do let me know. And like I said, I really hope it resonates with you, and I hope there was potentially some clarity if there were things that you weren't sure about, especially with how they were feeling about you. But my feeling is that they're quite wrapped up in their own thoughts and stuff like that, and that's and like I think the feels are there, like their caring connections towards you and all of those things, but and maybe how you reciprocate that, maybe as friends. But I think there's a lot of stuff that they are working through at the moment, which I think you challenge in a healthy way for them to grow. But I don't think they're quite there with sorting themselves out in so many ways. So my lovely friends of pile 4, I am sending so much love to you guys. Like I said, I hope it resonated. Love to hear in the comment section. But thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope to see you guys again soon. If you'd like to see me next time, please do hit that subscribe button. I hope to see you guys soon. Sending love. Bye.